All right, I think we're live. Good morning. Hey, thanks for joining me today. My name is Michael, and this is Happy English from New York City. That's right, New York, the city that never sleeps. That's the nickname for New York City. It's the city that never sleeps. Do you know why? Hmm? Well, uh, in New York City, the trains, the buses, the subways, the transportation runs 24/7. That's right. You can take a subway at 3 a.m. here in New York City, although I don't know if I would actually recommend that. But yeah, this is New York City, the city that never sleeps. Very exciting. If you have never been here and you have a chance, come and check it out. So, my name is Michael. I'm an English teacher at Happy English, but you guys know that already. Thanks for joining me today. It is September 14th. Wow, this month is almost half over. I can't believe it. Time is flying by. Before you know it, it's going to be Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then Happy New Year. Am I rushing too much? Okay. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the phrasal verbs with check. Now, somebody asked me that question on the YouTube channel comments the other day, and actually one of my students here in New York City also asked me that question. So, yeah, it's an interesting verb. Check and check out, check over, check into, not check over, check on, check into, check out. That's what we're going to talk about. And I hope this is not backward. And if it is backward, then you guys are going to have really good English reading practice. All right. So if you, by the way, thank you guys so much for all the comments. I'll stop for a minute and say hi to everyone later. If you have a question and you would like to get, an English question, you'd like to get an answer, then just, let me know. I'll try to get to that. If I don't get to your question today, hopefully I can get to your question next week. So let's check it out, okay? Check it out. Check. So the verb check means to look at or to read something because you want information. So, for example, I check the weather forecast. I look at the weather forecast on my phone, I read it, and I get the information. It's going to be a sunny day tomorrow. Sweet. I check the weather forecast. I check the train schedule. I read the schedule and I get the information. So just the word check itself has that idea of look at or read because you want to get some information. And then we have check on. Now, the phrasal verb check on has two different uses. You can check on someone or check on something. And so when you check on someone, it means, is she okay? Is he okay? For example, maybe you have a relative, your mom or grandmother or sister, brother, who's not feeling well. So you call them up and you say, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? I want to check on you. So check on means to make sure or see if somebody's okay. My mom is 89 years old. So every day I call her and I check on her. Okay. So check on means to contact with someone to make sure or to see how they're doing. All right. How about you guys? Have you checked on Anyone recently? All right, somebody said all of the letters are reversed on Instagram. Ooh, I don't know why. I wonder if that's on YouTube. So that's check on. Next is check on something. Check on something. And check on something means try to get the information. So in the business world, maybe you have a customer or a client and they say, "Hey, Sonny, how long will it take to ship those beautiful paintings to my office?" And then you would say, "You know what? I'm going to call the post office and check on that. Let me check on that. Let me get the information for you." So if somebody asks a question and you don't have the answer right away, you could say, "Let me check on that. Oh, it's going to take forever. Oh my God." Um, so check on something means to try to get the information. That's check on. All right. So check out. Check out. Check out means to try something. If you go to a shop and you want to buy some sporting equipment, maybe you want to buy a tennis racket or you want to buy um, a baseball glove. So you could say to the salesman, "Hey, can I check out this one?" In other words, can I look at this? Can I try it? Can I feel it? Can I touch it? Maybe you're going to buy some jewelry for yourself or for that special someone. So you can ask the staff in the jewelry shop. You look in the counter and you see some different necklaces or different rings, and you can ask them, "Hey, can I check that one? Sorry, can I check out that one? Can I check out that one?" So you want to look at it and you want to examine it. So that's the nuance of check out. Okay, to try something. And by the way, somebody asked this question the other day. Can we use checkout for clothes? So if you go to a store and you want to try a shirt or a hat or something, you want to see the fit or you want to see how it looks. For clothing, for clothes, we use try on. Try on. So you put the hat on and say, "Oh, it looks good," or "Oh, this shirt looks okay." You try on clothes. You try on clothes for the size, you try on clothes for the fit and how it looks on you. All right. So that's that. But if you try out, sorry, if you want to try a thing, you can use check out. You can check out a camera at the camera shop. You can check out some jewelry. So that's how we use check out. And then check out we also use when we want to get someone's attention. So imagine you're with your friend and you're walking in the park and you notice a UFO in the sky. You could say to your friend, "Hey, check out that UFO." Um, maybe you're, I don't know, you're walking down the street with your friend and you look in the shop window and you notice some really, really delicious pastry. You could say to your friend, "Hey, check out those cakes." All right. So, "Hey, check out that really handsome English teacher." Huh? Sorry. So when you want to get somebody's attention and show them something, you can say, "Hey, check out that whiteboard with the reversed letters." Sorry about that. All right. And then the last one, check up on. Check up on. Check up on means to investigate something. So maybe in your town, the bank was robbed. The police are going to check up on that situation. They're going to investigate that situation. Um, so check up on has that usage of investigate. So somebody just asked, I think that was Sunny just asked on Instagram, how is all of this different from check? Just check. And so I think check has a simpler meaning, like, check the train schedule. You look at this train schedule and you read it and you get the information. But for example, if you check on something, it means you need to do a little research. So if your customer says, hey, how long is it going to take, to ship that? Or do you think the factory can produce many of those things? You can't give it a simple answer. You need to do some research. So if you need to do some research to give somebody an answer, you can say, oh, let me check on that. I'm going to check on that means I'm going to do a little bit of research. So, when you bake, maybe you like to bake and you have cookies in the oven and you want to see if the cookies are finished. You can open the oven door and look in and go, okay, I just checked the cookies. They're not done yet. So check by itself has a very simple meaning like look at or read. Okay. And then can I use checkup for a medical exam? That's Sunny's question. And Tian on YouTube asked, what's the nuance or difference between check and checkup? So we usually use checkup as a noun when we talk about a medical examination. So, for example, tomorrow I'm going to have a checkup. I'm going to the clinic for a checkup. I'm going to the dentist next week to get a checkup. A checkup. It's a noun and it means a medical exam. You wouldn't say the doctor checked me up. Okay, so we don't use it as a phrasal verb, but we do use checkup as a noun. Alrighty, so that's the story with check. Okay, all right, I think that's it. And then there's an interesting question here. Can we use phrasal verbs in class or academic writings, or are they informal? And so a lot of people ask that question, when should we use a phrasal verb? My answer is all the time, because phrasal verbs are very commonly used in English, and especially in spoken English. But it's not a question of a formal situation or a casual situation. Let me give you an example. The phrasal verb put off. Put off means to postpone. So if you plan to go to the beach and it's raining today, you're going to call your friend and you're going to say, hey, I think we should put off our trip to the beach because it's raining. You probably wouldn't say, I think we should postpone our trip, because if there's a choice between the verb and the phrasal verb, most native English speakers prefer to use the phrasal verb. And it's the same thing in a business situation. In a business situation, you would tell your colleagues, listen, we're gonna put off the meeting because the boss is busy. And so you wouldn't say we're going to postpone the meeting, we're gonna put off the meeting. Hey, Yalchin. Yalchin is my Turkish brother. That's right. Hey, buddy. So that's the point. So even in writing, I think we prefer to use a phrasal verb. Now, if you're doing some academic writing, maybe you're going to write something for an academic journal like Harvard Business Review or some medical journal. In that case, in an academic paper, you would probably want to use the regular verb and not the phrasal verb because that's the preferred style for writing, academic writing. But if you're writing an email in a business situation and it's a choice, you have to tell somebody, oh, listen, we can't have the meeting tomorrow. Instead, we'll reschedule for next Saturday. Then you would probably say, uh, dear Lynn, I'm sorry, but we have to put off the meeting until next week. You wouldn't even use postpone in a business situation in writing. That's my point. So I know that phrasal verbs are tough to remember because you get mixed up, like check on, check out, check up. But try to think about them and to remember them the way you would remember an idiom. And if you didn't see my lesson a couple of weeks ago about how to remember vocabulary, what I will tell you is to remember vocabulary, you need to use it. You need to have output. So if this is your first time, to know that check on someone means to see if they're okay, then use that. In your diary, in your writing, you should say something. You should write, today I checked up on my grandmother and she's doing good. And I think I need to check up on my grandmother every day because she's in the hospital. Maybe the doctor checks up on her once a day, but I'm going to check up on her twice a day. See how many times I've used check up in 3 or 4 sentences. That is how you can remember vocabulary, whether it's a phrasal verb, an idiom, or just a new vocabulary phrase that your teacher has told you. All righty, so that, yes, so somebody just asked, phrasal verbs are more common in speaking because in school we rarely use or study them. It's the same for idioms. Tell your teacher that you need to study phrasal verbs and idioms because they're common in speaking. They're also very common in all of those English tests like TOEIC, TOEFL, IELTS, and so on. So phrasal verbs are a part of everyday real English. Maybe not textbook English, but it is real English. All right, so that, my friends, is the end brings us to the end of today's live English lesson every Friday in September at this same time. Tell your friends, and if you didn't like this lesson, then tell people that you don't like and torture them. Sorry for the backward whiteboard. I will figure out how I can make that not backward for next time. And yeah, that's it. Listen, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for studying with me here. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Happy English. My name is Michael. Thanks for joining me today. Bye, guys.